Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly episode of Everything Vaguely Paranormal. As always, I am Blake Smith, and with me are my partners in the paranormal, Miss Shelley Pruitt, Mr. Ryan Roberts. What's going on? How y'all doing?
Fantastic. I am excited because tonight we're going to go international.
And we are going international. Woo, 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 woo. Party.
I understand that we are hunting for the elusive Canadian redhead. Did we find one?
I think we have.
We did?
Right. I think we have.
And then an elusive Canadian psychic, yes?
Medium.
Well,
I mean, yeah. We'll ask her. We'll let her
I'll have to
us
get
later
them to
on.
clarify because I want to learn how to do one of them.
We are 2 minutes in. We don't need you screwing it up this quick, girl. It's okay.
These are mediums without borders. And we are.
I love that. Mediums without borders. Let's roll with that. That's a good one, Ryan.
Oh, they're never going to come back on our podcast.
You know what? They probably already left the green room. What else is new? We've had guests walk out on us before. It wouldn't be the first time.
We have. It's all good. Well, let's go ahead and bring them on the screen. You want to talk to them? I'm ready.
Yeah.
Well, introduce them. Tell us who we're talking to.
Okay. All right. Well, we are talking to Souls Compass Paranormal. We have with us Melanie Powers and Cathy Cusack. They are paranormal investigators and mediums all the way from Canada. So we are international tonight.
I love that.
Yeah. And I am a real redhead, but I'm not that elusive. Not like
okay. You're not an elusive redhead? Okay.
I'm all over the place.
So, Cathy, is it psychic or is it medium? Or is it a little bit of both?
I do a little bit of both. So I am a medium and I connect psychically as well. Yep. Two different things.
Well, then I stand corrected, Shelley. I am so sorry.
Never doubt me.
So we met y'all at Metacon whenever we went to Kansas City, which was an absolute fabulous time.
Yes.
What was y'all's experience like there? Because we got to meet so many different people, y'all included, and make friends with so many people. So tell me, how was y'all's experience in Kansas City?
I was starstruck. Absolutely. Yeah. I cannot even imagine having that experience again. Like, it was phenomenal. I feel like I'm best friends with people who don't even barely know me, but I just absolutely fell in love with Andrea Perrin, Travis Walton, and of course Carter. Love Carter. And John Zappis was a bit quiet, but you know what? He was still funny, and I captured a really cool laugh on a recording, and I just keep listening to it over and over again. And yeah, he's definitely contagious. But it was amazing. And meeting you guys, I think you guys were the first group that I met. It's like I just kind of meandered over and started chatting with y'all. It was great. And I'm using y'all tonight as a tribute to you guys all in Texas. I love it. You guys
have to use A, though. You have to use A.
A?
Yeah.
You have to use A.
Can you teach me the proper pronunciation?
A.
Because I'm from Texas and I say A.
No.
Just a little shorter.
Talking to some Canadians, eh?
Yeah.
One more time for me.
Yeah.
One more time.
A. Just
A.
A. Yeah, that's some good, eh?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the Metacon was phenomenal. Like, just to be able to be in the presence with other people that work in the industry. It was wonderful. A lot of us do this work, but to be able to have those moments together, to talk about ideas and collaborate and just get support from each other. It was phenomenal. The energy was crackling all weekend.
Yeah.
You could feel it.
It was absolutely great. Like I'm right there with you, Melanie, on being kind of starstruck because I ain't afraid to say it. Like Andrea Perrin for me is like,
Right.
The ghost got Shelley. She'll be back momentarily. But anyways,
Yeah, all of our power just went out. So
no. So if we lose
the
Shelley
beauty
completely,
of a live thing. No,
Yep.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. But what I'm saying is, if we lose you completely, then we'll just keep rolling with it.
You just keep rolling. I'm going to get a battery box.
There you
That
go.
sounds dirty, but I mean nothing dirty by it.
There you go. That sounds good. However, so what I was saying is like, yeah, absolutely, like kind of starstruck because Andrea Perrin for me is kind of like top tier up there for me, and the fact that we got to meet her and hang out with her along with the other ones that you named, Carter, John, Katie Stafford, Travis. Yeah. And then to top it all off, the five of us, along with our producer Brittany and about how many people? 10, 15,
Yeah.
16 people, something like that. Got to go
Yeah.
UFO hunting with Andrea Perrin
Yeah.
In front of the hotel.
in front of the hotel. Yeah.
That was
It
crazy.
We had breakfast with them.
Yeah.
That itself was amazing. But going back to the night that you just mentioned, like standing out there, and I just kept watching Ryan's finger because I knew Ryan was onto something. And everywhere Ryan would point, I'd snap. And the pictures, of course, I captured some unidentified lights in the sky, right? But and having that, I just started laughing. I couldn't even believe. Yeah, there's Ryan's picture. Is that my picture or Ryan's?
Oh no, I see them on the right hand side.
Yeah.
They're about middle on the right hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. I can't point at it, I guess, but
Oh, there you go. Yeah, on the right hand side, top right corner.
yeah,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
So
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just standing there with Cathy, and
Once in a lifetime experience.
major static, like electricity. So I run over to Andrea, and I'm like, "Is that normal?" Because I'm starting to get a little bit like, freaked out, but still enjoying the moment and loving it, thinking maybe I'll be abducted. I'm not sure, but this would be really cool if I was. And Andrea's like, "No, that's absolutely normal. I love it." Like she was just, she was something amazing.
Hey, since you guys have been back in Canada and after the Paracon or after Metacon, have you guys seen any more at all?
No, and I've tried. Like,
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Like I've tried to call them in. I'm hoping one day it'll
But
work.
I'll tell.
How about you guys?
Well, I haven't, but that third eye opening that she did, I mean, my third eye was already open, but since she did that, the stuff I'm seeing is incredible. Not in the sky, but spirit-wise, it's been incredible.
We were actually talking about that as well, because after we went to Metacon about 2 weeks after that, we were at Old Park Hotel doing an investigation with a bunch of investigators. And that, oh my God, that investigation was unlike anyone we had ever had before. We were seeing full-bodied apparitions and shadows and just all kinds of stuff. And I remember looking at them going, let me find out that Andrea Perrin opened this third eye, and now I can't get it to shut off, which you warned us about.
I love that.
Where's the door to close? Yeah.
Well, we also had a really incredible moment doing a dual Estes method that there was just no way that what Blake and I were getting wasn't connected. It was really crazy, some of the stuff we were getting and how intense it came through. And we were kind of like, all right, okay, I've kind of had enough of this. So
yeah, but that just speaks to how much power this woman has.
No.
And did you watch? Like I watched you guys have your third eye opening, and Blake, I think you were one of the first ones, if not.
I was the first one. Yeah.
And the intimacy, like between everybody, like you and Andrea, and I felt it too. There's an image of me and Andrea where we look like we're about to kiss, and it was so intimate, and you just felt into her, and you could just feel her, and I couldn't think of anything more beautiful.
She has like such the motherly hug too.
She does.
Which all that's captured, in the pictures that we were taking for our group, when she just wrapped you up and she's just not letting you go until she knows that your energy is like perfect and centered, so to speak. Right. And that comfort in that moment, I think we each individually felt in that moment.
Oh yeah,
amazing woman. We've talked about her a lot on this podcast.
She had a different message for every single person that she opened their third eye.
Yeah.
And that was so cool.
Yeah.
So awesome.
It sure was.
No, I take that back. I wasn't the very first one, because I remember I told Ryan I saw her kiss the forehead of the one girl, and because I'm so enthralled with Andrea Perrin, I turned to Ryan, handed him my phone. I said, "If you don't capture her kissing my forehead, I'm gonna kick you out of the group."
So I took pictures of the ground the whole time I was taking.
So he was down there at the ground taking pictures of feet the whole time. No, he got it. He got it.
I saw Ryan was right in there. Ryan was right in there with y'all.
He was like, ching, 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 ching. But
I
then
loved it.
after we had all of that experience, oh no, actually the CE5 experience though, a little bit further on that. I don't know if y'all saw it at the same time. When I ask y'all's perspective on this, the one that Ryan pointed out to the whole group, how it was moving real slow, picked up speed, and then it just shot out. Did y'all happen to see that in the sky?
I missed that, unfortunately.
No.
That was one of the most trippiest things I think I'd ever seen, because
yeah, that was that one really blew my mind. Like, just seeing all of them come down was impressive, but to see one show itself that clearly and to show itself accelerating and shooting off into wherever it went, that was something else.
I'm jealous, Ryan. I think one of the captivating one I got, it was a video of red lights just flashing through the sky, like at different areas. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'm not sure if you saw that video or if you could get it open. But what I did, I just took a screenshot of each time I saw, like, each frame by frame, and I don't have an explanation for it other than it was an unidentified object in the sky, and I'm owning it and I'm loving it.
With so many people seeing so many different things, I wonder if everyone just saw what they were meant to see.
Oh, I believe that.
She did say something about that at the beginning, right? You know, just look up and your eyes will take you to wherever they're supposed to, and just start.
I know the next morning I woke up and I closed my eyes for a quick moment, and I was still seeing them then the next day.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't experience that. Oh, wow.
Yeah. It wasn't very long, but I remember saying to Mel, I'm like, oh, I just saw them again as soon as I closed my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Pretty incredible.
Well, and I think that's interesting. So for anybody who's listening who doesn't know what the CE5 experience was we all looked like a bunch of crazy people out in front of the hotel in their parking lot doing like this.
With all the jujitsu Karate Kid tournament kids watching us going, what are y'all doing? Looking for aliens? Yeah, okay. Off they go.
And Andrea, she sang to them to draw them in and everything like that. And I think everybody had a little trepidation about it starting out. Like, in my mind, I was like, okay, is this really going to work? But I think it's important that the five of us on screen talk about it, because even our producer, Brittany, in the green room, she had experiences as well. So that makes 6 of us having this collective group experience, but each walking away with a different perspective of it, which I find absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. Now, do you guys find yourself...
That's a very strong bonding moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself when you're explaining to people saying, but there were other normal people with me? I'm not insane. Like, we were all relatively normal.
That's not the story I tell. That's not the story I tell at all.
I have people who... I talk like people at work with. I talk about UFOs and all this kind of stuff with. And as I'm telling the story, I'm getting the side eye, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Listen, I know it sounds crazy, but I cannot explain to you the magnitude and the just. I was like, there might be some. I say there might be, but there is something to the CE5 thing, and if you get a chance, go and do it, because before we were talking about last night, beforehand, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. CE5 sounds like you got to listen to, you got to meditate and listen to like binaural beats and everything. I was like, I don't know. But like I said, Andrea Perrin completely changed my mind on that. And I really need to do that again. That was so cool.
Well,
yeah, I think we should do that.
I was gonna say, unlike Shelly's story usually starts out with like, well, I was just there to meet a date at the hotel. I mean, he bought me dinner, so
I felt obligated. What can I say?
Shelly's like, I saw this weird group standing out there, so I felt like I needed to join.
I just kind of wandered over because I'm nosy. No, actually, to be fair, I saw nothing in the sky. I was seeing none of this. And I walked away by myself because I figured if they were going to beam us up, at least one of us should survive to tell the story of what happened to this big group out here. And I've wandered off on my own. And so I sit down and I've distanced myself just in case. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm like, I'm discounting everything. I'm like, that's probably a plane. I see the different color. I see the red flash and then the white flash. That's planes. They have to alternate. Okay, whatever. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I'm not seeing it. Obviously, they don't like me. Then all of a sudden I see this one bright flash. And I don't know where it came from and I don't know what it was, but it was this real And I went, excuse me. I go, I got, boo, I don't know what it was. And Rupert comes running over there and he goes, what did you see? I said, have no idea. Boom, bright flash of the sky, haven't seen it since. And he goes, now this, I did giggle. He said, let's focus our energy right there. Okay, I'm focusing. And he says, maybe we can call it down. And I'm trying. You know, I'm thinking, what do I do? Do I yodel? What do I do?
Do I yodel?
So I stayed quiet. And I guess he gave up on me because he said, maybe it was just meant for you, Shelley. Great. They know where I am. Fantastic. So yeah, but that was the only thing that I saw. And
Wow.
I would love to say I saw more. I would love to say that I got the collective experience. I really didn't. And trust me, child, I was looking. I was feeling left out. I'm like, why don't they like me? You know? So before I had to call my psychiatrist and talk that out as to why they didn't like me, I just decided that maybe just that one was the one who was like, hey, I see you, girl. You special. Right here. I know who you are.
Just for you.
Just for you.
For me.
You
Yeah.
stood out of the group. That's all it was.
I did.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just for me. See, I find a way to make it positive.
Shelley got flashed by an alien.
Yes, that's a better story. I'm going with
Yeah.
that.
Love it.
Way better story. So
Yeah.
y'all actually for that weekend though stayed at one of the nights y'all stayed at Oddfellows.
Yes.
So what
Yes.
was the
You fulfilled Ryan's dream,
Which-
and not in a
thank
dirty
you.
way.
Thank you very much. Because I talked to them the whole time. I was like, as long as we get to go to Oddfellows while we're in Kansas City, we got to go check it out. I really want to go check it out. And y'all come swooping in like a couple of superheroes and just like, hey, we're staying at Oddfellows. You want to come check it out? Yeah.
I considered
Yeah.
putting paper
Thank you.
on my seat because I was afraid Ryan was going to piddle himself on the way over there.
pretty much.
I was
But
so glad.
what
I
was
was so
y'all
glad to invite you guys because Cathy and I, we hated the Airbnb so bad we just made a one-off call again to have the night before to stay in the hotel, and we had way more activity the night that you guys were with us. I mean, we can talk about what we saw that night, but it just worked out perfectly for all of us to get together. And I love the fact that we worked so well together. Like, I think Cathy and I like to sit back and watch how you guys how y'all
did.
interacted, and it was phenomenal. We loved it. Like, we kind of took the quiet seat, but just watching you guys and how you did your investigations, we love it when Shelley asked for Spirit to walk out in front of the light, and you guys all worked so well together. It was just really nice
thank
for
you.
her and I
Thank
to
you.
sit and watch.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We appreciate that.
you guys
It was
deserve the
impressive to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad y'all said that because I was really afraid y'all were like, yeah, we sat back and watched the clowns work in the circus. You know, that's what I thought you were going to say.
No.
Well, there was that, but no, it had been a long weekend and we knew we had a second night there too. And Mel and I talked about that. We're like, you know what, let's just, be observers and see how they do things. And yeah, like as you guys hit the ground and that was it, like you were just running, right? So it was impressive to watch.
Yeah.
we are wind up toys, thank you, but we are wind up toys. You wind us up and just let us go and we will just go.
Where are we going?
Yeah.
So what was the overall experience for y'all? Like we know what we got, which we can talk about, like what the 5 of us got. Well, Brittany there being there too, what the 6 of us got. But I want to know what was the overall experience. Y'all said y'all were there another night. So
Yeah.
what all ended
So-
up happening?
Yeah, we went out in front of what would have been the hospital where the psychiatric ward was. And we did an Estes session with someone from our team back here in Canada. And it was extremely active. They were talking about patients, nurses. They even talked about a medicine that we're going to be using in the future. So that was pretty crazy. And then Mel wanted to just really get a feel about how well it was really connected. So there was a dog barking in the background and Melanie said, "What's that noise?" And Shelley said, "Dog." So it was really, really connected in. Yeah, it was, a lot of activity, even outside. I mean, those buildings are dangerous, right? So we were outside, but it was a lot.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. But to be
So-
honest,
so the-
like,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shelley.
I'm sorry. I had a question. So your Shelley was in Canada and you were doing a basically a
Remote.
Long distance
yes,
Estes.
a remote Estes. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
We do that
that
with
is
her a
such
lot.
cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
And she is
really
really
talented.
good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
Sam, I mean, we had kind of touched on trying to do something like that with y'all, like us being down here in Texas, y'all being up there in Canada, just to see how great of a distance we would be able to cover
And
of doing
connect.
and connect, but and doing possibly a dual Estes, you know, or a remote Estes like that, just to see.
That's
Because
exciting.
there's this whole theory in the paranormal world, you know, that on the other side, time and space, you know, it doesn't apply to them.
No.
And I've even heard it alluded to like telephone lines, you know, how like you can pick up the phone here, dial it at somebody overseas, and within 2 seconds it's ringing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of the theory of like how quick it can travel. So that would be a very interesting. It's interesting that y'all got what you got, being in Kansas City versus Canada. Like that's fascinating to me. Sorry, we could go down rabbit holes all night long on this stuff.
We've worked with actually a couple teams, or we're working with a team right now out of, I believe he's out of Kansas City, is he not, Mel?
I think so. If not there, he's in the area. Yeah, he's either in Kansas or Missouri.
Yeah. So we do that work quite regularly. It's amazing what, you know, we're all connected. We're all connected.
Yeah.
And we met that gentleman at the Metacon as well. So we've connected with a number of people. So because we're psychic mediums, he wanted to get the feel of, you know, what's going on. It's just it's a special project. It's not known, so we won't discuss it. But he just wanted to know if we could tap in psychically or with our mediumship. And so far, it's been really impressive. Yeah, we've enjoyed it immensely. Yeah, but we would love to do a long distance Estes session with you guys.
We'll have to figure out. Yeah, we'll have to figure out
we'll
whenever
figure
we
that
can.
out.
Yeah, for sure, because that'd be fascinating.
So, do you guys do anything like? So again, please forgive my ignorance on exactly the difference in psychics and mediums and that kind of thing. Are you able to do things like remote viewing? Is there anything in particular that you tap into whenever you go to, I'm going to say channel, whatever it is that you're getting? Is that the correct verbiage?
Yeah, channeling, absolutely. So because I read full time as well, right? So when I'm with a client, say their grandmother's coming through, her grandmother shows me her house and she'll show me specific items in the house. So that's remote viewing in a completely different way. So yeah, it's all about the clairvoyance, right? That gift of sight. So spirit will show you what's important.
Do you feel like you leave your body when you do that, or do you feel is it just showing you like kind of like a movie? A lot of times it's showing like a movie. Sometimes you can go super, super deep though, Ryan, and like just really lose yourself in it. Feel like you're down inside a well.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I've ever thought of it like that. Like I've heard the movie reference, you know, and things like that, but I don't know if I've ever thought of it like being down in a well. That's an interesting way to think about it.
Feels like.
So what is the differences in what you do, or the two of you do basically the same thing, or does one of you have a gift that lends more to one side and another to the other?
Cathy does this full time. So I just do it when things come up and somebody needs something or when we're on an investigation. So I think for me, I do a lot of automatic writing. And when I walk in a house, if I walk in blind, I don't know what's happening. So we all just sort of take our place and walk around. And I tend to write down a lot of words, sentences, names, and then we go back to the round table. And oftentimes, Cathy often knows the story behind the house. And then we go over my list of items that I've picked up psychically. And then the majority of it is right. I can tick most of it off. And then the ones I don't tick off, it usually comes out in the end as, hey, yeah, astral projection. I've had that happen before. And then it's like, well, there's my last thing I need to tick off my list, right? So,
wow.
I mean, but I can't speak for Cathy. I've watched Cathy work a lot because Cathy and I work, sometimes we do readings together. But for me, it's mostly when I'm doing a mediumship or, you know, a psychic reading is as easy as like throwing some tarot down and then picking up on someone's energy. And then sometimes somebody will just come through the left side of my brain and start playing a movie. And then that's my mediumship taking over. So spirit will come in. So a loved one from whoever I'm with, the client, and they'll just tell me things that are important, to identify who they are so the client knows that they're really there. It's amazing.
Does it happen randomly, or does it happen mostly just on location?
If I don't shut it off, it'll happen randomly. I was getting a microneedling done on my face, and I'm like, your mom died of brain cancer, and it just came out of my mouth. And I'm like, oh no, not the long.
That's when you get jabbed extra hard. Yeah, don't play like that.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of being tortured, and I'm like, yeah, your mom's coming through, and just, can you like put some cream on this? It really hurts, but she wants me to make note of this, and then my face hurts. Can we do something? Anyway.
There's I really loved my mom. I really loved her. I'm like,
The
ow.
poor girl started crying, and I'm like, you know, I felt really bad because I want to shut it off, but sometimes it just comes out.
Well, because, I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah, they
finish your thought.
They want to relay the message, right? So if they're taking their energy to come down and join me, for me to pass that along, I can't refuse them. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll speak on for our group on this, because I think I was the only one that actually got to sit in on Cathy's like gallery reading that you did, and it absolutely phenomenal. I was blown away for some of the people around me that were having the experiences with you, with what was in spirit, what was coming through. But I guess my question to y'all is like being able to shut it off and stuff like that. I've always wanted to know this. Don't take offense to it. Spirit, don't take offense to it. Does it ever get annoying? Do you ever just go, I'm trying to eat dinner?
For me, I don't know, right from the get-go, I've been able to kind of turn it on, turn it off. There have been a few times I walked up to one fella I used to work on an army base, and I walked up to him and I'm like, your mom walked right through me. It was back in my early days. I didn't know how to word things. Freaked him out. I swear to God, he never talked to me again. But he did. I saw him one time. He crossed the road, and I'm like, but for me, most of the time, I can turn it off. And I study over in the UK. Mel has as well. And my teacher taught me right from the beginning, when you're working, you're working. When you're not, you're not. So I have certain words with them, whether I'm doing private readings or out on an investigation, where I'm like, okay, thanks for being here. Send you back to where you belong with light and love. And that's it. They know that's my turn off switch. So most of the time they've been okay. Sometimes when we're on investigation, though, they're like, like they're just trying to hammer at you. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Sometimes I've used choice words.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, there's a part here that makes Cathy like extremely unique on investigations. I can get names and people coming in, but I can get really distracted. Cathy gets super honed in, and then Spirit, actually, it's like she's that light, and they're all moths. And no offense to Spirit, but man, they're coming in at her, and sometimes she just starts. It's too much. And I'm the worst friend ever because I take them to laughing, and it's not friendly. But Cathy starts retching, and sometimes she belches, and that we know Spirit. Oh, Shelley does that too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave
know
me.
Spirit is really close. It's almost too close to Shelley. I don't know if you guys have that picture of Cathy's hands. I mean, I think this is a great opportunity to bring that up and how close Spirit gets.
Yeah, right there.
So if you look at her hands, you see an extra set of handprints. Or fingertips, like not prints, just the whole finger.
Yeah, I see that. Wow.
And then if you look closely to her head, Cathy can explain it better than me, I think, because it was happening to her. I was just a witness, but there looks like a face.
Yeah.
On her. Go ahead, Cathy.
We were in an attic, and this little girl came to me, and I'm saying, oh my God, she's got these great big eyes, big eyes. Next thing you know, I felt a man's presence. He took her life. So it was her at first, and then she's crying and saying, she wants her mom. So Melanie is doing a live in front of me. And, originally I had said there's something coming up the stairs. She got up. She saw that there's like an orb, ping pong coming up the stairs. Then she's doing this to me, and poor Mel, she's in tears. It is quite emotional. Meanwhile, we have a team member on the side snapping still. So it was really interesting to get it from all around. And what you'll see on the side of my face, that is a spirit, and it's called transfiguration, where they can actually come that close. Sometimes you can see their face right over top of yours. And so she caught shot the still of it, while Melanie is filming, you can actually see an orb right in that spot fly off of my head when she left me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, I will say, just based on meeting you in person, seeing you on the screen tonight, that is not your profile.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That's not your profile. And I will say that the fingers out in front of yours, that's not your fingers either.
No, and
Like,
there was no mirror. There was nothing nearby.
wow.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps again, just like going
Wow.
back to that moment. It was intense. I was crying like a little baby and laughing at the same time because I just didn't know what emotion to feel.
Yeah.
But just before we started recording, and what triggered us to start the recording was we actually heard a little girl with our ears in the room behind us screaming. So then we just started picking up the cameras and I started doing a live, and Cathy's like this and Cathy's like no, because it was getting so close to her, and it just took over. And then all of a sudden it flew right out of her head, and I remember I was like, that just flew out of your head, and I was freaked out and laughing at the same time and crying. It was a very interesting investigation, one of the best.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
So
as
We
a
have
medium,
some pretty wild things happen.
Yeah, having Cathy as our live entertainment, sometimes it's just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind-blowing, because she's like that light, right? So they're all going to Cathy for communication, and sometimes she goes under in a trance and does weird stuff, and we have a hard time getting her out of it. But when you watch it at the beginning, you're like, what the hell? And then after you get to know Cathy and get to know her techniques and what's going on, it's just phenomenal. She blows me away. Absolutely. Yeah.
Shelly's kind of our entertainment too. We call her the sniffer. She has a sniffer, so we just open the door and we just let her go, and we just chase behind her.
where are we going?
Shelly, you did catch that full body apparition at the morgue, did you not, that night?
Yeah, I did. I've gone back and looked. I'm pretty convinced that I actually did catch a man coming out of the door. He's just not in any of the other one. And I thought it was interesting. It was the exact same time my camera malfunctioned. But no, they do. They give me a hard time about my sniffer. They'll just like let go and just send me out and let me roll. And I did find the one. Oh gosh, is it me that's dragging, or have we got both of them? Are we having the issue?
I'm not sure.
We might be having an issue, but let's keep going. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, but I did find the one cell in, I believe it was West Virginia State Pen or Ohio State Reformatory. I can't remember, where the guy set himself on fire. And we were walking around the darkness, and I'm like, there's something wrong with this. Ryan, was it Ohio State Reformatory or West Virginia?
Yeah, it was Ohio State Reformatory.
It's
the biggest freestanding cell block in the world. Like we had not been in that place before, and there's no way she could have known that it was exactly that cell. And I followed her. She went right into that cell, and on the other side is a plaque. Before she couldn't have even seen it in the dark, and I walked over to the other side and I said, "You'll never guess what cell you're in." So,
well, as far as I walked in, I go, it smells like smoke in this room. And Ryan's like, I don't smell that. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, it smells like smoke in here. And he's like, well, I don't know. And he starts looking around. He goes, hey, Shelly, because we came this way. And he goes, hey, over here, there's a plaque. You just found his cell. I don't know. It's one I want to come to.
Wow.
So I love that, because
that's awesome.
To me, that's and watching you guys that night at the Oddfellows compound, you three are highly intuitive. And I don't think that you even get how in tune with spirit you are. And maybe you do, and you guys just hide it well. Yeah. I don't know. But just watching y'all, it was amazing. I loved it. Anyway, I'll go back to that.
I agree.
That's the moment. And Shelly, you're just tough as shit, I'm saying, because when that glass shattered and the rest of us like bolted.
Yeah, you were like a soldier. You just stood there.
I was like, it's glass. What are we jumping at?
Right. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell? Something smashed. And anyway, that was amazing. The whole night was incredible.
Well, that's kind of what I do. I mean, you were like, oh, can we talk to y'all and everything? And like everybody went up there to get the interview. I was like, I'm sorry, something's got my attention, and I wandered off. And so I'm sorry I didn't do that for you guys, but that's okay.
Yeah, she will wander off. y'all. Like, I think we told you, like, basement, she'll find it. Where'd Shelly go? Oh, she's over there in the basement. we got to go and wrangle in the cats.
Mel's like that too. We have to wrangle her in. The day or earlier in the day, we lost her in one of those buildings.
Oh God!
Where did Mel go?
Yeah, tell this story, because when we listened to y'all's podcast over it, y'all told this story and you had not told us this, and we were like going, okay, that's strange. Y'all tell that story, because that's really interesting how Oddfellows kind of, I don't know, misled you for a moment, separated you.
So we all went in. We were allowed to put our feet in the door. Anyway, we take liberties sometimes, and I hope nobody from the Oddfellows or from the wineries.
Hey, this is a show. It's a show. Never believe a word we say. It's a show.
Right. So
allegedly.
So we all decided to go in and take a walk around. I didn't know we weren't allowed upstairs. I just knew we weren't allowed in the building, but we went in anyway.
Allegedly.
And it's not even that big of a building. You guys saw it. It's
not
huge.
Yeah.
So I'm wandering. I turn on my camera and I'm walking around with the camera, and I can hear Cathy and our other two people who were with us, and they were talking. Then all of a sudden, absolute silence. So I go upstairs and I'm yelling for Cathy, and the other two, nothing. I even have video. You can hear me yelling, Cathy! Nothing. And I walked through the building upstairs, and I was completely spooked out, which I don't normally get, but for some reason, Kansas City really threw me for a loop. So I'm walking through, or I guess that would be Independence maybe, and I'm yelling for Cathy, and they're yelling for me. I cannot hear them. They cannot hear me. I'm now lost upstairs in a building that you can't really get lost in. And I turned around, and I finally, where did we meet at on the stairs? Like, I don't even remember.
I can't remember either, but we couldn't hear you at all.
But you heard me on the camera when I played it back to you.
Yeah.
You heard me when I played it back. You were like, yeah, we didn't hear you at all. I'm like, yeah, I was screaming.
No, not at all. And I mean, there's holes in that floor, so there should not have been any problem to hear you.
I know. It was definitely a strange event.
So there's a theory that jumps in my mind just really quick kind of about that, of like, a lot of times what I have experienced, I don't know if I can speak for the others on the screen, but when big things have happened or are about to happen to me, paranormal wise activity and whatnot, it almost seems like people that are around me are not affected. It's like you're in a bubble. You're in a paranormal bubble where the sound cannot penetrate out of. One of those being like blood curdling screams from me waking up in the middle of the night, being dragged out of bed. And Kev, who was just down the hall, didn't hear a damn thing. And he's like, no, I didn't hear you screaming, So I wonder if that was kind of what that instance was in that moment. I wonder if something was about to happen, and that's why you were getting spooked, and you were kind of in this paranormal bubble where they couldn't hear you.
The building was isolating you, basically.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Isolating. Yes.
Yeah, just contained within its own field.
Yeah, that we couldn't find each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went into one of the other buildings, and I heard a growl right in a particular spot, and Mel got burned because she's a ginger. She's so sensitive in her skin, right? So you tend to get at her in like hot points. Anyways, the interesting thing is that Melanie had watched a previous paranormal team that I actually made it as an episode on TV. They heard a growl, and they got burnt in the exact same spot that we did.
No way.
Really?
Yeah, that was really something. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's definitely an active spot right in the place that we had been. Yeah.
So, Cathy, I have a question for you. Do you tend to get growled at a lot? I do. So what is it? I mean, do we just piss them off, or what happens here?
Oh, Shelley, let me tell you, Melanie's laughing because she knows they come through those spirit boxes. They call me nasty names. They growl at me. Yeah. I remember when I first got into this, I remember a gentleman telling me that the sensitives, right? The mediums, the psychics, the sensitives, they're the ones that are in the line of fire. Okay. They know, right? Some of them, we can say ill intent, whatever. Some of them aren't going to like us because we're trying to help. We're trying to do things, right? So we are the ones that are kind of in that line of fire. So now I just growl back at them. Yeah, whatever. I do.
am
I'm
so
like,
gonna do
don't
that.
mess with me today.
Shelly, you have to start growling back.
I will. I mean, if they don't call me the C word, I don't think they're talking to me.
Right?
You know?
Right?
That's the craziest thing. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
craziest thing,
they'll
Cathy.
say Kathy or Kathy, you're up. It's like seriously, guys, like still picking on me. You're
Yeah.
assholes.
I'll say, okay, anybody here want to talk? And they go, hi, bitch. I go, okay, all right, this is how we're
Yeah.
starting off.
Well, and that's crazy
Yep.
that you say that, because literally we just had an investigation where Shelly led, oh my God, 9 Estes methods, something
Yeah,
like
and I
that.
don't usually lead that many.
And basically, we had guests with us. We had the public with us, and they each wanted to take a turn experience the Estes method. So we allow our guests to test out the Estes method for a certain number of minutes, and that's it. That's all you get. And everybody wanted Shelly to lead them that night. And every single person that went under, it was like Shelly'd ask a question and they go, whore. Next person, Shelly'd ask the question, whore. Every person that sat
Or
in
it'd
that
be
chair
F you.
called her a whore.
Or
They
a
tell you,
bitch, or said F you.
or they
Yeah.
tell you to perform various acts as well all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got told to get F'd a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very sucks.
I just honestly, I ignore it a lot of times now. We do get chuckles over it because it's just
I
seems to
laugh.
happen so much. But I'll just growl back now and say, not today, Satan. Not
I
today.
cannot wait. I am so doing that. I might even bark. Get away. Yeah, I might do that too.
See what kind of reaction you get, right?
I'm so doing that. Thank you for the idea.
You're
So
welcome.
I've got to ask you guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mel.
Oh, we get called witches a lot too. Like
Oh,
all the time.
I've been called that too.
They're like, they'll tell how many people there are. Like they'll say, oh, there's 7, and then witches, and then sometimes humans, right? So it's really, they're there. You can't deny it. And again, I try to explain to my people who I talk to, like, there are other people who are same, like me, who experience this kind of shit. And it is insane. But, if people would just open their mind and allow it to just absorb, just have an open mind about it. But when we are living it and we're experiencing it, and they're actually calling us out by name, not not cuss words, but just by our regular name, and then calling us witches and humans, telling us how many there are in the room, or they're talking to each other, which is amazing. And spirit's just incredible. Whether it's, there are the good ones who are there to help, and then of course there are the not so good ones who are there to growl and call names and throw shit at you. Like, that's not so much fun, but it's still so interesting.
Well, and
I'm
I
sure
think,
it's fun.
I think to piggyback off what you're saying, like of having oh yeah, it's a blast of having an open mind. That people have to realize that what they're seeing on TV, and things like that, that's not necessarily the real type of investigation. They're gonna put the scariest moments and the biggest highlights out of the footage that they have on screen. Half the time, it's like 4 hours of you sitting around a room with one another with pieces of equipment out and an EVP recorder going, "Can you please knock on something to let us know that you're here?
Yeah.
Can you please say something to let us know?" And nothing happens, for about 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose for about 30 seconds. And then nothing again,
Yeah.
Well, I was watching a John Zaffis podcast, and he was saying, and I know he doesn't do a whole lot of the same stuff that we do, like we're kind of rogue and he's more structured, but he said there's like 122 hours of footage for a 30-minute episode.
Absolutely.
That's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot. So, I mean, yeah. And then here we are. How long were we together that night? Like Ryan, or I think actually, Blake, you caught an EVP that,
I caught an EVP. Yep, I caught an EVP right after Shelly caught the guy coming out the door. That's what's more fascinating about it. And it was right in the midst of, this is the more interesting part of it. So once I got back and started to review it, because I know we were all standing there down that ramp along with Brittany, and everybody was saying something, and then it like went quiet. And it's in that moment that I hear the, but it's very much breathier than that. However, when I go back to review it, it should have a sound wave as loud as it is.
No sound wave.
No
I did not
sound
know that.
wave. Not a single sound wave.
Wow.
You can see everything else leading up to that, and then there's that little itty. Because in my head, I'm looking for the sound wave. I'm like, where is this thing? I'm gonna find this damn thing, and couldn't find it, so I had to go back and listen to from the beginning. And yep, sure enough, there was no registered sound wave for it, but it is on the digital recorder.
Whoa.
So you were doing
on
a
the
live
tracks.
EVP,
Mm-hmm.
and Brittany heard it as well, and she was standing next to you.
Yeah.
So she heard it with her without having the headphones or the
right.
recorder on.
So what we figured out was that it was basically disembodied that was captured on the EVP recorder as well. So I was hearing at the same time she was hearing it. She was just hearing the disembodied. I was here. Well, I guess I was hearing disembodied as well. But what I thought was a live EVP capture. But the fact that blows my mind is it has no sound wave, because even the tiniest ones that I've looked at in audio have just the ittiest bittiest little change, on the sound wave. This one has none.
That whole thing was pretty crazy, because we were starting to walk down that ramp, and I said, "Oh, there is something there."
And Cathy stopped, and I was like, "I ain't scared. I'll go down there," and I go charging down to the end. Melanie's right behind me, and then Blake, and then Brittany.
I'm a chicken. I am. I'm a chicken. My daughter, she's our producer. So there's 3 of us that are the founding members of our group, and one is my daughter Kate, and she'll say, "Mom, you're the biggest chicken on the team," and I'm like, "That's right."
And you say, "No, I'm the smartest."
I always say, "Do you know what? Just run faster than me, and I can't run at all, so everybody's good."
I think I mean, there, out of the 4 of us that go to the investigations on this side, I don't think there's one of us that's really chicken about going. I just say that I'll send Shelly first and I'll follow behind her because I got her back. Absolutely, that's the whole reason. Nothing else behind that. She goes first, I'll go second. I've got her back, and then Ryan can be behind me, so he has my back, and then. Unfortunately, Brittany's the newest member, so she gets the caboose. So if anything runs up on us, it's her ass, not ours.
Isn't it nice that the 2 big, straight, brave, strong guys let the girls lead and follow?
Absolutely.
Now, there are times where they'll say, "Hey, you go here and do this," and I'm like, "I really don't want to, but I guess I'll do it."
Listen, ma'am, to my right, I'll go on record and say you are braver than I. I am not going to lie, because I've got one motto with investigating. One motto. I'm not scared to really go do anything or, go off or do, experiments, whatnot. My only motto in investigations is, if this bitch runs, I run.
I don't run.
But the thing is somebody pointed out on our last investigation, said you got to know which way she's going, because sometimes she'll run towards it.
That's funny.
So I was going to ask you guys, what was the first thing that happened to you where you guys realized that you had something? Where, like
what
you
was
had
y'all's
an ability,
connection? When did you decide to hook up? Yeah.
Oh, Mel and I have a funny story about that, actually. So Mel works full-time in health and safety. She travels all over the country working, and we had both really she'd been in the industry a little bit before me, but this was my first job. So we're sitting there, and we're supposed to be doing health and safety work. And Mel, what was it, maybe 15 minutes into our day, I say to her, I can't even remember what it was. So sorry. What did I say to you, Mel?
She was that excited. She said, "I think you asked me who the gentleman was with the salt and pepper hair, and his name started with a J." And I was like, "The hell is she talking about?" And it's who's this crazy lady? And I'm looking at the JSA, like safety documents. Like, I don't know what she's talking about, right? Anyway, and then she just confesses, like, "I'm excited." So we're whispering, and our boss is right outside the door listening to everything we're saying. So yeah, then that's how it began. We just started at a job site, at a refinery of all places. And Cathy's telling me about my dead grandfather.
I was like, Mel's over here just trying to have her morning coffee or something, and she's like, who the hell is this crazy bitch next to me?
She's looking, going, "Oh God, she's the new person. That's okay. We'll have her gone by lunch. She's asking me questions. There's nobody on this form named that. There's no pictures. Why she's asking me salt pepper? I don't know."
Actually, Shelly, I was thinking I get a mediumship reading for free, like every fucking
That's an awesome perk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? But my grandmother was a medium and a healer and all that. So I was used to it. I just hadn't been around it in so long, and especially in a job site where there's just all men in coveralls and hard hats. And Cathy's like talking about dead people. I'm like, yep. I love this.
All right, cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So that's where we
That's
bonded.
awesome.
And then she dragged me to not kicking and screaming at all. Actually, she said, you need to come to the Arthur Findlay College in England and learn about mediumship. So yeah, I went. And it's been fantastic since. Cathy's been really behind me 100% in so many ways. And then she ended up joining a group locally as a paranormal group and realized that they wouldn't take her mediumship serious. So we decided at that point to, because we were getting a lot of, intuitive information. We didn't have the equipment to back it up, but we had the documentation to back it up. So he just couldn't take that serious because it wasn't real on the equipment, and he couldn't what is it, like, validate. But even though the homeowner would say, no, so and so did live here, he did die that way, we had a lot of confirmation, and so we just decided to start our own, and that was easy.
Well, I'll go on record and reveal something that I've said on my Facebook in previous times. Cathy, you and I had a run-in outside of Metacon, and we had never met. We were just standing there next to each other outside, and you and I had a connection, and it was one of those that you said something to me. I'm still not going to reveal what you said to me, but afterwards, you just immediately switched. You were like, your mom's dad is passed. And I was like, And girl, everything that you said about him was absolutely 100% true. What he died from, all of this stuff, what he looked like. And you said that he was standing right over my right shoulder, which blew my mind. I was like, out of all the people that are on the other side that I would think would be hightailing their ass along with me to everywhere that I go, he would have been the last one. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm telling you now, like, Cathy, your mediumship is an absolute gift, because everything that you told me in that little 5-minute exchange that we had was 100% spot on.
Thank you.
100%. And then the second encounter that we had at Oddfellows later that night, where it's just me and you kind of chit-chatting together, again, 100% spot on.
Thank you, Blake.
I'll reveal what she said eventually. I just ain't ready yet.
I just thought it was so weird because I'm weird. I talk to dead people, but I don't go up to people and say, "Can I touch you?" But I said to you, "Can I touch you?
You did.
Can I touch you?"
And here I am. I don't know her from Adam over here, and I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it. Like, I don't care, go for it, have fun, And you did, and you just put your hand right there, and you said what you had said to me, which I'll reveal at a later date and time, and then continued on about my grandfather, which I just thought was fascinating. And to watch you inside the room with each one of those individual people, you could see the shock and awe and gasps and audible just
tears,
bewilderment, and people crying because you were so spot on with what you were saying to them. So I have witnessed Cathy at work firsthand, and I will 100% vouch for your mediumship. You are absolutely mind-blowing, and it is a true gift that you have.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We as a team, us three gals, Kate and Mel and I, our mission statement when we started doing investigations was to really honor the voice of spirit. We're not going to go in and yell at them, try to get a reaction from them. We're going to allow spirit to show us what's important to them and honor the story that they have to tell us. Yeah. So it means a lot to us. And that we're different than other teams. Just in that fact, like, that's a big part of it, right? With our mediumship not taken seriously, and on the first team that we were on, that really had a big impact on us to really say, no, you know what, this is part of who we are. This is important. And, we need to honor that. So that's been a big part for us. And anyone that's come on the team, our team is amazing. There's 9 of us now. And they're all sensitive in their own way, and their gifts are blossoming. Like, it's really phenomenal to watch them.
Yeah. And everybody's so encouraging to one another as well. Like, when we're done the show, or when we've posted something on Facebook or done an investigation, it's all encouragement. Like, man, you really caught on to that. And did you hear the way that they interacted with you, and you're really gifted in this area, and you really sent it? everybody has a gift, and we work really, really well together.
Well, I think that's
and that's awesome.
It is.
I think
awesome.
that's definitely the way that it should be.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we're there's no experts in this field. Nobody knows everything in this field. We should all work together. We should all have an open mind. We should all encourage each other to use any gifts that we have to, you know, teach each other, to inspire each other. I love what you said, Cathy, because that's where we come from. Is when we go into a location, it is about just furthering the conversation with the deceased. That's all it is. These used to be humans. They just don't have a body anymore, and we can't see them.
Yeah.
You know, so we're not going to go in there. And I'd hate somebody to come in my house. And, all right, listen here, you motherfucker. You're going to get in here. Like,
son of a bitch.
No, I'm going to hurl something at your head as well, you know, and tell you to F off and walk away. Like, it's just not, you know, so just be respectful, people, damn it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's all you got to do. Yeah. I said, and I'll add on to what Blake just said. It is so great that you guys do encourage each other and y'all foster that environment, because there are a lot of egos out there that
absolutely
well, why did you get that and I didn't get that? You know, like that's not what this is about. We're trying to work together to try to figure this out. It's not what you got and what I got. It's like, what did we all get? Let's put this all together and see if we can figure this out.
Yeah,
absolutely. And to one another as well, not just within the team, but to each other's teams. Like, watching you guys and having such respect for what you guys do and other paranormal teams that we're working with. There's no ego involved. It's if you get something, that's phenomenal. It doesn't matter who got it, but we got it, you know, and that's the point, is hearing what spirit has to say to us, whether it's good spirit or bad spirit. And we're just trying to come to a conclusion, right? That's why we're there. We're helping somebody out.
Yeah.
Typically. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I have to ask y'all this. So what is y'all's favorite place that y'all have ever been to investigate?
I think
Mel, you want to
go? Probably.
Where was it?
McIntyre Villa. What about you, Cathy?
Okay.
Dorchester. Dorchester jail.
Oh, Dorchester. Yeah, that was okay. But Cathy and I have different experiences with the Dorchester prison. I think the ghost took Shelley again, but
They did. She'll be back.
So we'll talk about the Dorchester, and then I really have to talk about my ability to scream in real life at the McIntyre.
She should be in Hollywood.
Okay.
So Mel didn't get to go on our first investigation to the Dorchester. The Dorchester is an old jail in New Brunswick. It's so old they actually used to hang people right in the jail. So I can't remember when we abolished our death penalty, but it's been a long, long time. So this is how old this jail is. So when you go in there, the gentleman that owns it now, him and his wife, they've turned it into a bed and breakfast. So you get to sleep in the cells, and like, it's really quite something. So we took the team in, took a couple of other extra people with us, and we had quite a scary evening. First night, my daughter and her boyfriend, they stayed up by themselves. Their bed was shaken. They were touched all night long. You know, my daughter woke me up in the morning. She's like Mel. She doesn't get scared at all, and she was frightened. So then the next night, the rest of the team came and joined us. And like, they have the death row right in there. They have this hallway called the dark row. I was told, they said, don't call BUTCH out by name. I said, what do you mean, Butch? I said, I'm not scared of anything. And they're like, But an hour and a half after that, my daughter came up to me and said, Mom, what happened? Everything has changed. The whole energy has changed. They have bodies that were buried out in the backyard that are undocumented. They just poured lime on them. Like, it's a crazy place. He even has O.J. Simpson's clothes in there. O.J. Simpson's clothes. Yeah. He's a collector of oddities.
Okay.
Yeah. So after I called Butcher by name, it really did. There was something weird that went on. So the second night, we left in the middle of the night. The team didn't want to stay.
Really? Wow.
There was only one person that wanted to stay. So then Melanie went in after that by herself.
Wait, let's get to the picture first. If Brittany can put the picture up of the pink line that I sent her.
Oh, yes.
You can give the description of what you believe this is. Yeah.
What is that?
Blake, I showed you that when
Yeah,
it was on the laptop at the show. So this was taken over top of the bed I was staying in. This is the VIP room that had been where they kept the women. This was snapped. Oh, there was an investigator sitting on the bed, snapped with just a cell phone.
So if you
Wow.
can if you zoom it up, you can actually see what looks like 3 separate faces. So there's 2 at the top and 1 right there, and then there's another one kind of off on a blur.
Oh, I see them.
Okay.
So the
I
story
see what you're talking about.
behind this, that we believe who these 3 people are, there was a mom and her 2 sons. Now the 2 sons, so the mom, I think the 2 sons, I'll just use the term simple, like they were maybe, anyway, they were just more simple, younger minded, but in an older man's body. And the mom used to make them do things, terrible things, kidnap children.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway, at some point, the Bannister boys were caught, and they were set to do a hanging. So they were the last 2 in the province. Was it Canada, maybe, Cathy, or just the province of New Brunswick that did the double hanging?
I'm not sure. The province, I believe.
Okay. So if you can imagine, like upstairs, the prison, there's the 2 prison cells, death row, and then the gallows, you step outside, they put the noose around both of the boys' necks back to back. One of the boys, I mean, he was so innocent, he asked if they could loosen it a bit because it was too tight on him, right? So this tells you the mentality of it. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what was
Yeah.
The gallows open up, the boys drop. 27, 28 minutes later, it took for them to actually perish.
Oh my God.
No.
And the mother gets 6 months from all of this evil that she bestowed upon the boys, or told the boys to do all these evil acts. She gets 6 months, and she stayed in that room where this photo was taken. It was just a room where they kept the women of the night and other colorful women inmates. So now the interesting part, well, I just think it's interesting. They have, what is it called, Cathy? Black row. So once they
Dark row.
So the boys fall down from the gallows. They're hanging, and in the area that they're hanging, they have other cells of inmates who are on their way up. So people get to watch the show of. It's just a horrible.
Oh man.
Dear God. Wow.
Okay. So this is where Cathy and them stayed that night, took that picture. She told me a bit about the investigation. So I'm being, me, not scared of anything, decide my friend wants to have a paranormal experience. So he flies in from Alberta, which is a distance away. We go and stay at the inn. The hosts are lovely. She kind of gives us a little rundown. We take a tour, and then we just sit around doing an investigation. So that night, I didn't have my team. I wasn't comfortable. So I knew I was vulnerable. And because all I had was my friend who just wanted to have a paranormal experience. Well, he didn't get it. I got it. And all night I was tormented. So we stayed in that same room, the VIP room. I figured that was better than staying in the cell. And I would take the bathroom or an outhouse any day over that VIP room again. So I woke up and I looked up, and that lady, the mom, I knew what she looked like because there's a poster of her. She threw a noose down at me. And she's like, "You're going to die tonight, bitch." Or she said something really nasty to me.
What the fuck?
Flips me over, starts pulling me out of bed. Now, I get it. It was high probability I was having a sleep paralysis moment. But she flips me over, and she's pulling me out of the bed. And I'm reaching for my friend, frantically trying to scream his name. He finally wakes up, and he says, "What's up?" And I'm like, "That lady, she's trying to kill me." And I told him the story, and I said, "Switch sides." So I went on the inside of the bed. And then later on, I woke up because something was tapping on the blanket between me and my friends. And I said, "Stop tapping the blanket." And then I realized that I was actually still in the same place that I was to begin with. None of that happened in real life.
Oh, wow.
But it happened.
Yeah.
So the next morning, everybody left the Airbnb. So the host walked out with my friend and brought some luggage out. And I was the last one to leave. And there was a steel door that was there that would shut in that unit. So there was the unit for the women's, and then the unit going towards, because it's on the same area, the same floor as the death row. And just as I walk out, the door smashed me right in the face. And I was
Oh.
like,
Oh my
don't let
God.
the door hit you on the way out, bitch. I'm leaving.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not coming back.
I'm deucing the fuck out. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah,
the-
she was messing with you hardcore all night long.
Dang.
And I think, right? And it was the lady of the night's room too. So my friend David, he was in a coma. He was probably like, he had the best sleep he's ever had. And I'm just like, so they've seduced him or sedated him. I'm not sure, maybe a bit of both. And for me, I was tormented all night long. And
But here's the thing: could it have been the paranormal bubble theory?
right.
Was he getting a peaceful night's sleep while you were being tormented all night? Because he couldn't hear shit of what was happening, type thing. Telling y'all, I think that theory is so real, it's unreal. It would explain so much why people can't hear big, massive paranormal things happening and others can. Like,
It makes sense.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think there's some bubble that takes place.
And there's that, and you brought up an interesting thing. You said it could have been sleep paralysis. I mean, who's to say when we're in that state, when you're stuck in between that state of sleep and being awake, that you're not the most vulnerable, and that's when stuff shows up to try to mess with you.
Yeah,
it's so true, Ryan. And I think you're onto something there too, because I mean, when do we get visits in the night? When we're right in theta, right? So all of a sudden we wake up and you hear your name called, but did you really hear it? It just tends to play with you because you're right in the middle of the veil, right? It's like you're floating somewhere in between your body and somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, now I want to go. Now I want to go to the Dorchester jail.
Yeah, we gotta go. Let's do this.
I was going to say, you guys need to come up and we'll take us.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. He had shrunken heads and everything there.
Oh, I want to go so bad.
I mean, it sounds like one of the places that we need to go stay, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll sleep in the VIP room. Why not?
I was like, but let me tell you something. Bitch wants to drag me out of the bed. I've done had experience with that. Okay. I don't fight fair. I sling holy water. All right.
Yes.
Let's get one thing straight.
we actually had Melanie's cousin who's a pastor. He came and he blessed the team and gave us some holy water after that. My mom gave me an antique cross. We're like, man, we're battening down.
Cover all your bases.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all know those 2-gallon Ozarka jugs that they put Ozarka water in or whatnot. I've got one full of holy water from our sister team in Oklahoma.
Wow.
He's like, here in case y'all need it. Thank you so much.
We are stocked up on some holy water for sure.
Awesome.
I have to say something mean. I threw holy water on my daughter when she was having a fit once to see if she was going to ignite. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Stop it.
I backed way up. I was like,
she's like, the power of Christ compels you.
right?
She's all over there. She's like,
something like that.
does it, Mom? Does it compel me?
There's pea soup everywhere.
Oh my God.
I shouldn't mess with that kid though. She's pretty powerful. I gotta share a story. So she used to see people who weren't there when she was like 1.5, 2 years old. She would come out and she'd say, "Who's the lady in my room?" I mean, that doesn't freak any mom out, right?
No.
She's like, "She's right there. We've been playing for a long time." Like, that's really good. What's her name? And I'm asking questions. But it's not paranormal, but it's something to think about. So one time I was outside and I was cutting down some trees. We were moving a pool barn and she came out. And as I'm cutting down the trees, she cups her ears and she's screaming at me like frantically. And she's like, "Mom, stop. They're screaming. You're killing them. You're hurting them. They're screaming." And she lost her shit on me in that moment.
Oh my God.
Ever since that day, I can't cut a tree down unless it's already dead. Like this child, because she's seen so many dead people and telepathically, like she reads my mind. They still do, both my daughters, but this one in particular is very gifted. She just says, "I'm not dealing with any of that, Mom. Like, I'm 19. I'm not there." So I'm like, I could make money off you.
Go to work. We have the electric bill to pay. Hurry. Step up and see the psychic kid.
That's right. She will read your mind. Oh my God. Anyway, I had to share that story, but it's just phenomenal. Like,
that's
the
awesome.
things, the shit that we don't know, that a kid who's so pure, because she's mine. No, because she's so young and innocent. And, and she's telling me that the trees are screaming. Like, we really have to take into consideration all of the things out there that we just don't know, understand, think about.
They say that grass screams when you cut it. It releases the pheromone that lets all the other grass know, like, run like shit, even though they're rooted in the ground, they can't run anywhere. But it says they cry out with this pheromone, so don't cut your grass. That's
Wow. I have OCD with my lawn. I don't know. I'm just gonna put my headphones on so I can't.
There you go. Just put a headphone on and just go for it. So y'all also do the a podcast as well now.
Yes.
That y'all have. So what's the name? Where can they find that?
What's the name of that, Mel?
Whispers in the Dark, I believe.
Yes. So I'm sorry. It's still new.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah. So it's on Spotify. Caitlin, our director, she has just recently started that. So every couple of weeks we get together and just talk on a subject. We're going to plan on having special guests. I hope you guys are going to be ready for that. And
absolutely. Just let us know when.
Perfect. Yeah. And just, sharing of thoughts and ideas and experiences. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Y'all lean more towards paranormal side, metaphysical, mediumship, psychic,
all of it.
All of it.
All of it.
All encompassing.
It's all the same thing.
It's all encompassing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's why we named ours everything vaguely paranormal. Even if it's vaguely paranormal, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's funny. Melanie had to explain that EVP to me when she had first met you guys, and I'm like, "Oh, how brilliant! What an awesome name!"
We've gotten a lot of thank you. We've gotten a lot of interesting comments about our name. All good. I will say all good. But everybody's like, never would have thought, so
I think it's cute.
There was one dude that came up at Paracon and he just goes, "Oh, EVP." I get it. Okay.
Just literally just walked away. All right,
cool.
We were just like, we're looking at each other like, it really just fucking happened? And he said it exactly as Ryan just said it.
Just
EVP. I get it.
It's funny.
I love that.
Oh my God.
Another place that you guys should go that Cathy and I had the honor of spending many hours in was that McIntyre Villa in Atchison.
Yes, we actually have not been able to make it there as a group yet. Now I know that Shelly has been, but as a group, I think speak of the devil, we might be getting Shelly back. The ghost have finally returned her. She probably talked too much was the issue. But she's trying to come in right now. But anyway,
Shelly, are you there?
Right. And Stephanie, we met Stephanie. I met Stephanie. I don't know, Ryan, if you did. I've
met her before. She's a trip. She's a hoot.
She's a hoot. I can't wait to talk to her. We're going to try and have her on as well. But yeah, that is definitely a place that we as a group need to get to for sure. So what was your experience like it?
So Cathy went in blind this time. Usually it's me, but this time I did the research. Cathy went in blind, and I'm telling you, she went in and got greeted by Annie, which was cool because Annie was the second wife's mom, or
Anne's
she could have
mother.
actually been greeted by the second wife. Yeah, Anne's mom, Annie. I think Stephanie decorated it in a really interesting way to kind of make it a lot more. Well, I think Atchison itself was promoting itself on being like one of the most haunted places in America. So her having a fantastically haunted mansion, she has very few pieces of original furniture in there, but it's so authentic. But the decorations and the stuff that she has purchased for the mansion are phenomenal and creepy AF. So
love it.
The dolls that are outside the bathroom, I think, got me. And I just have to say, that bathroom was probably the most horrifying. That's where I'm going to do my debut screaming event was in that bathroom. If I can find that,
she scared me.
I'm going to send it to you. And you guys will listen to me screaming, and you will think I was like top actress in the 60s, but it was phenomenal. Poor Cathy.
Did you have
I jumped. I just jumped just a little bit because I made a noise. Well, then she took to screaming again. She scared me.
She just have a whole American Psycho moment in the shower where it's just
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's
Right? It was exactly like
there's
that.
definitely an energy there, and Melanie could feel it. Not
Yeah.
not super friendly for sure. So I think it just the dolls added to it, but I think Mel was just feeling a
Yeah.
lot from it too, so that didn't help. But it was
Yeah.
kind of
She
funny.
said, Stephanie says, well, in the morning, if you want to have a shower, I'm like, and that's the only one. She goes, yeah. I'm like, I'll just go dirty. Like, honest to God, it'd be like a spit on my hand, but, you know, like, will not shower in that.
I had that same thing. Okay,
Mhm.
we were talking right before we hit record about
Yeah.
irrational fears. Okay, I've got one for
Right.
you. One of
Good.
my irrational fears is that I'm going to be attacked in the shower, whether it is my own or somebody else's or at a haunted location. It doesn't matter. So when I wash my face, I wash it really fast. You know, it's just an irrational fear. I had that exact same thing, and I've talked about this on a podcast, but I'm going to tell you again because it was funny as hell and it fits into this. I went in at Old Park to Jenny's room. Jenny, there is a haunted doll in there. Jenny can be nice or she can be mean. And I go into the bathroom to take a shower because Brittany was in the other shower. And I was like, cool, we shower at the same time. We're both up here. If anything happens, great, cool. We could protect each other even though we're butt naked in different showers. Cool, whatever. Logic was not rolling through my brain at this point, okay? So I'm in the shower, I'm showering off, you know, and everything like that. And the last thing I have to do is my face. And I soap up and I put my hands right here and I pause for a minute thinking, do I really want to do this? And I just went for it. And I put my hands to my face like this. And as soon as my freaking hands touch my eyes, I hear on the door like some type of, and I'm like, suck it. So I feel you. I was there. I'm there in spirit with you, Melanie.
He screamed like you did.
I washed face so damn fast. I rinsed off. I get out like almost butt naked, open the door. I'm dripping wet, trying to put my shirt on, my butt, my pants at the same time. Hair's dripping. I look out. There's nobody there. I go downstairs. Brittany's still in the other shower. I go downstairs. Everybody else is still downstairs. And I was like, okay, that just happened. Thanks, Jenny. You're an asshole. So I'm right there with you, girl.
Well,
The
if you
shower
guys
thing-
ever go there, Blake, you got to jump in the shower.
Oh, God.
No, don't.
Yeah.
It's a bad place.
No,
Just,
no,
just to
knowing
say you
Blake-
did it. Oh, come on.
Okay.
And knowing Blake, that sucker has to shower at least a couple times a day, so he'll probably shower in that damn bathroom.
I do. I have to. I don't care how sweaty I get in investigations or something. The first thing that I do when we get back from investigations is I'm in the shower. I have to. I just have to shower because I get too hot. I get too sweaty. I feel gross. So
Yeah,
I will
you guys have,
probably.
crazy ass temperatures down there. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
the
but
sweat
I will.
alone, you could lather in it, like with soap.
You very well could. Yes, you very well could. That is not a lie. So I'll probably wind up. My ass will probably wind up in that shower.
Okay, if you do, don't set a recorder at, like, we don't need to see your naked body, but record the environment.
Record
Just
the-
for our entertainment, okay?
I will. What I'll do is I'll put it right at the door where it cuts the shower off somehow.
That's right. It'll work. And call the name Charlie. Just say Charlie.
Okay, now listen, Melanie, are you trying to set me up for something here? Because that seems like I'm pushing buttons.
Right, do it. It's a dare, Ryan. It's a dare. Blake.
I'll hold him to it. When we get a McIntyre, I'm gonna make him.
Good. So
I
I
already
in that
have to-
bathroom. Stephanie went in and put a recorder in there. And when she came downstairs to meet us, she ran back up, grabbed the recorder, and she's like, "Hey, I just recorded something while I was meeting you." And she hits play. I mean, her recorder is like one from 1980, but it's but she admits it. She's paid a lot of money for it. I don't know. It's vintage and she loves it. But it sounds like a whole bunch of like rah, 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 and then you hear the toilet flush. And she wasn't up there. And I'm like, that's interesting. And that's the shower we're going to take, right? That's okay. Love that. So we go up and she's like, okay, so what do you feel from here? Because Cathy was basically staying in one room while I was getting the tour. And we did, I did a live with Stephanie. And after Stephanie left, I set up my camera, aimed it at the shower or at the bathroom hallway, like where the dolls are and the cat balls, because they were going off. Mm-hmm. And then I went down to the bathroom for something just to kind of look in. And as I turned around, I swear to God, whoever that is, somebody chased me down the hallway, which I think is the name I mentioned. And he said, get the fuck out now. And that's what I heard in my ear, and I haven't been the same since.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Yep. I am good. I am going right now.
And when I went to grab my camera after, I don't know, I think I had it up there for 20 minutes because I was like, I'm so hyper focused on this bathroom, and it was shut off. So
Oh, wow.
I'm like, you asshole, battery was full. I'm just like,
It completely drained all of it.
It's like, I'll do you one better. I'll leave the key under the mat. I'll see you later.
right.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
And then
the
the Attic Live was great because everybody's like talking about did you guys watch the Attic Live? If you didn't, it's okay. But
I don't think that we got a chance to, but we'll need to go back and review and look
yeah.
at it. Yeah.
I was Cathy's what do you call it? Test dummy?
Quite something.
So and there were so many horrifying things. And every time you'd see me go like this, there would be a light anomaly fly first, right? And then you'd see me like, and then I was getting groped and he called me doll. And then he called me, hey, Red. And he was a little bit infatuated with me. And a whole hand went down my back, not once, but twice. And every time if you look carefully, I know I examined this video because I was horrified. And then the live feed's saying like, there's some big black mask behind Mel. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, no, it's okay, Melanie. It's okay. There's nothing.
People are writing this, right? They're like, it's like something from a horror movie. They're like, there's something behind Melanie, and Melanie's like, I don't want to hear. I was like, no, it's all good, Mel. You're good.
Just don't turn around.
Cathy's like, you're great. Keep going.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was doing.
She's like whispering into the live. Yeah, guys, I see it. It's okay. You're good now. Keep going. You're good.
That was great.
Exactly.
Anyway,
oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, we definitely got to check it out.
Somewhere we got to get to. That is definitely on the list for
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right. Oh, go ahead.
No, the Sally House is local too, but I wouldn't even consider that to be somewhere to go anymore because I think somebody said that it was cleared out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's the story. People aren't really getting anything in there.
Do they know who did it and how?
No. We weren't told. But you can buy tickets from the town hall and go in and spend an hour in there. But we didn't bother going in. Yeah.
Oh wow!
But you guys,
that could be one of those. Just walk in just to say that you walked in. You know, because we know that paranormal investigations are
and
it's like fishing in the dark. You know, it's either you're going to get a crap ton of fish or you're going to get absolutely nothing. Nobody
get a few nibbles, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure.
What were you going to say, Cathy?
No, nothing.
About
no.
Sally House?
Okay.
It was very anticlimactic. We'll just say
that.
We didn't go in.
Oh, so you guys did get a chance to walk in then?
No, we were on the outside.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
But I think we would have wasted our money going in anyway because we already had preconceived notions that it had been cleansed. But bring me to the point though, like how do you guys all feel about having these houses that are up for activity and paranormal groups coming in? Like the houses, it's almost like we're expecting these spirits to perform. Like, what's your guys' take on that?
Go ahead, Ryan.
I think they're like anybody else. Like they're people. They're people who don't have a body anymore. And sometimes people are up for it, and sometimes they're not. And people, when you get a lot, they're like, all right, cool, these people are here, let's do this. But when you don't get anything, they're like, oh, fuck, again, I just did this last night. I don't care. I don't want to do this anymore. And I think that's when you get more of your get outs, leave me alone, go home, leaves, is when that's going on. And then unless, of course, there's something there that is not good and wants to mess with you. So I think that's what's going on with a lot of these places. Blake, what do you think?
No, I think you said it perfectly well. I mean, I think they're not performing circus monkeys, and we all know that. I mean, they're either going to want to talk to you or they're not going to want to talk to you. And it's all about how you approach it and the respect that you come in with and the mindset that you come in with. If you're in the mindset that you're going in to capture a full-bodied apparition because you want to throw it up on YouTube and Facebook and all that kind of stuff and make millions off of them, you're probably not going to catch anything. But if you go in respectful and open-minded to have a conversation and get to know them and their environment and what their life was like, you are probably going to open yourself up for an amazing night, because that's the way we approach it. And the level of activity that we get at our investigations, I'm going to brag. I'm toot our own horn. I haven't seen a whole lot of other teams be able to get some of the things that we've been able to capture in photos and in videos. And it's just the
We've
way
said
that
the same. Yep.
Yep. You approach it. And,
yeah.
And I think a really good example of what we were talking about, how they're not performing circus monkeys, is we have been at several locations that are immensely haunted. And then about a certain time of night, they're like, go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're like, we're done.
And they're like,
we're done.
Talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got that at the second tier. They said, go make your bed. Make your bed.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
It was like, we know you're here. Go lay down. Leave us alone. We're,
But there's some like that you have to be careful about, because they want you to go to bed so that they can then do all the big stuff that to you in the bedroom while you're trying to sleep. Yeah.
Old Park is a double-edged sword, because that's it's okay to go to bed, and then when you go to bed, all of a sudden everything's walking and doors are rattling and shit's slamming. They want to go to bed so you mess with you.
So the first night that we were at the Oddfellows at the winery, you guys were long gone. We were getting ready. We were going to bed, fell asleep. In the middle of the night, I heard this bang, 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 bang. And I mean, it jolted me awake. It was probably about 4:30 in the morning. And Melanie had fallen asleep with her whatever movie or Seinfeld, I think she was watching on her phone, and the light was on. She refused to turn the light off. Anyway, so I'm like, screw this. I'm not going through this alone. And I start going like that on her shoulder. I'm like, Melanie, did you hear that?
No, Cathy, it was.
She's like, what are you talking about? I wasn't going through it alone. Anyways, it happened. It was just a quick bang, bang, bang. And then she never heard it. I went back to sleep, but it was loud.
Wow. I say you're there getting all these bangs, and she's over there listening to, what's the deal with ghosts? Who are these people?
Yeah.
The second night we were there, there was a lady, and she wanted to stay in room 9, where we stayed both nights, right? Because apparently that's the most active room. So the second night, people were wondering what Cathy and I were doing. So we actually had some tours. There were some people sitting with us, and one lady in particular was a little bit. She was interesting, and she's like, "Oh, I want to stay in room 9. It's so active. It makes me sleep well." Like, she was really embracing this whole paranormal thing. So she thought she was going to be disappointed. So off she goes. She was out in her house coat, and she goes back in to go to sleep after downing a bottle of wine. Next thing you know, we're finishing up with some people from California. We're having a great time. We look around the corner, and out she comes, and she's all frazzled, and her hair is like, she's just looking a little bit crazy. And she's like, they're really bothering me. I can't sleep. They're in my room all night. But Cathy and I had the best sleep ever, because she called whatever was in room 9, I'm sure, into her room to stay with her for the night, because we had nothing.
Like, oh, thank God. Good night's sleep. Awesome.
Yeah.
She was like, what do I do? What do I do? I was like, come in bed with us. No. I was like, girl, you just need to tell them to piss off. Like, tell them to get the fuck out of your room, leave you alone, come back and see us if they need to. We're in room 9. Send them home. We hadn't heard from her, so I think she had an okay sleep or she left. Either one. We didn't hear from her for the rest of the night. But the look on she had like mad look in her eyes.
They were coming after me. No, but I tell people all the time, if you were going to be in a location like that, it's like being at like a haunted house around Halloween. The more scared you act, the more they're going to mess with you. So just stand your ground, tell them to leave you alone, and they'll leave you alone. But if you keep freaking out, they're going to be like, this is funny. And they keep on poking, so.
Push the button, watch your screen. Push the button, watch your screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my God. I could sit here and talk to you all night, but I know that we are on time schedules. So, Ryan, do you have any final questions or anything for them?
No, I just want to say thanks for coming on, and thanks for inviting us out to Oddfellows, and thanks for being so cool. And we can't wait to make it up to Canada and investigate with y'all. And y'all are also welcome down here anytime.
Oh, yeah.
So,
y'all are definitely welcome down here anytime. But will y'all hang tight with us for just a little bit? We got a little bit of housekeeping and a closing that we're going to do, and then we're going to give you a proper thank you, and then we will go ahead and call it a night. Cool?
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
great.
Since Shelly's not here.
Since Shelly's not here.
Tell them what they need to know, the Ghost Daughter. So.
Okay, well, time for a couple of announcements and shout outs just really quick. Guys, our online merchant store, let's retry that again. Our online merchandise store is now live, has been live for quite some time. So make sure you go and check that out. We have got t-shirts, mugs, pillows, dog shirts. We may have shower curtains by now. I don't even know what's on there. But it's a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of fun things if you want to support some EVP merch and everything. So make sure to go check it out. Make sure you're following our Eventbrite page so you can be notified when tickets go on sale, because they are currently sold out, I believe, but I'll double check. We're going to post our link tree up tomorrow. That's going to take you to everywhere you need to go. It's going to include all of our social channels, which you need to make sure that you're following across the board to stay up to date on everything we have coming out later this year. It's going to get you to our Patreon channel as well, which is just $5 a month. And for $5, you get well over 100 extra Patreon exclusive videos that include pre and post broadcast, Paracon speaking events, exclusive video casts, and behind the scene moments. And we are also bolstering up what you're going to get from that at the same price. That's not going to go up. And we are offering 7-day free trials for that. So make sure you check it out. And as always, any questions, comments, or stories you'd like to share with us, those can be shared to us at the evppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And we want to thank y'all for tuning in for another weekly episode of Everything Vaguely Paranormal. For myself, I am Blake Smith. As my partners in the paranormal, Miss Shelley Pruitt, who got abducted by ghosts, Brian Roberts, and is also Brittany in the green room pushing all the buttons and making us look fabulous. Melanie Powers, Cathy Cusack with Souls Compass Paranormal. Make sure you go check them out on YouTube. I saw y'all have that. Facebook, y'all have the group for that. Where else can they find y'all?
They can find our podcast on, I think, what did we say? Whispers in the Dark on Spotify.
Whispers in the Dark on Spotify.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all so much for coming on with us and spending your evening with us. And we had an absolute blast. And we will definitely have to have y'all back on to hear even more stories. Yes. Oh, Cathy said, all right, I'm out. That's good.
See you, Cathy.
Well, anyways, thank you, Melanie, for sticking to the bit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be like that. But anyways.
Y'all are welcome back anytime. And we can't wait to be on y'all's show.
Yeah, oh my goodness, I can't wait. You guys just, anytime you want to come to Canada, seriously, look us up. We have all kinds of space for you guys. All kinds of places to go.
Same down here.
We will do that.
And I just need to know when it's going to be cooler, because I can't do that 110 degrees.
We got you. We got you. We got you.
You guys are amazing. Love you guys.
Well, thank y'all for joining us for Everything Vaguely Paranormal. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Hit the credits.